Hello world, I am Retro Indie Josh, jam host and community manager for 8-Bits to Infinity. Today we're checking out the top games from our most recent jam, Random Jam. Every 8-Bits to Infinity jam has both a focus and a theme, where the focus is a required limitation, sometimes graphical or mechanics-based, while the theme is optional, although it counts as a significant portion of your community choice vote, so most of the games decide to follow the theme. Plus, it provides some inspiration and further limitation on the kinds of games that you can make. For Random Jam, the focus was randomness, which meant the game would have to showcase randomness in some clear and obvious way, such as random level generation or randomly selecting cards or rolling of dice and so on. The theme was just two, so the words just and two. Like in all of our past jams, it was cool to see all of the various interpretations throughout the different games. So without further ado, let's look at some of the best games from Random Jam in July of 2023. So we'll start by looking at the top 5 games of the jam. These were selected by a community vote of developers participating in the jam, and along the way I'll also reveal my personal favorite game of the jam. So to start off, congratulations to Lemon Juice for the winning game Subpar Golfing. This is a simple little golfing game where you get just 2 shots per course, as per our theme of just 2. The courses are randomly generated, which means sometimes they can be literally impossible, but the developer was kind enough to give us an option to reset the stage so that it could regenerate and we don't get stuck permanently. You get extra points for ricocheting the ball off of the walls, so if you do a cool trick shot, you end up with a higher score. But of course, if you don't get the ball into the hole in those 2 shots, then you don't advance. The graphics are simple but very readable, and it's nice that it includes 2 extra environments. Also, the random generation is pretty effective at making some interesting stages. Next up, we have the number 2 game, Astral Beats by NotEuclid. This is a combination of the rhythm genre plus a Simon sort of memorization game, where you need to listen to a bar of music and then repeat both the rhythm and the pitch. Luckily, the game limits to just 2 pitches, C and G, which fits nicely into the theme of the jam. And of course, the randomly generated patterns fit the focus. The game is very difficult, especially if you don't have a very good ear, but it's a really cool idea and very fun. Plus, the presentation is great. The music is very upbeat and very in your face, very much drags you into the experience. Plus, the game has a pretty extensive backstory that's quite hilarious. At number 3, we have Tyrant of Two by Festus, Arbiter 202, and NCS ASP. This is a top-down roguelite shooter that has really solid graphics and really solid music, good sound design, and some interesting mechanics. So the implementation of the random focus is that you're given randomized effects to choose between, which also fits the theme because you get just 2 to choose from. The game feels relatively complete, with a lot of interesting weapon effects that greatly change the gameplay as you go. There's even a couple of boss encounters that work really well and test your mastery of the game mechanics. Personally, this was my favorite game of the jam, and I'm glad that it made the top 3 for the community vote. In 4th place, we have Rising Circuits by Travesty. This is another top-down shooter game, and it uses the theme of just 2, in that you can hold just 2 weapons. You have a left-hand weapon and a right-hand weapon. The shooter mechanics feel really nice, and I love the variety of enemies that are present. There's also a bunch of different weapons that you can pick up, and you can mix and match as you go. It's also nice that it's a complete experience, and it has an ending. And in 5th place, we have Moveshot by Mikrakakik. Sorry if I butchered that name. This is another top-down shooter, but very different. It's very abstract, and it has a cool mechanic in that you only get 2 shots of each weapon until it randomly changes into a new one. Even though the graphics are made of very simple shapes, it's very readable, and you can easily tell which weapon you have at any time. And now for some honorable mentions. First, we have Random Splat Game by Dawn Games. This is a simple but intuitive game where you simply match the color of the splat as it appears on the screen. It seems a little bit too simple at first, but as it progresses, it does actually get quite challenging. Then we have Radical Nuisance Gateway by The Mutant Space Dancer. This game had a ton of content for the jam, helped by using RPG Maker for the game's foundation. There is a ton of creativity here in the artwork and in the music, and it's definitely worth checking out. And finally, Binary and Bogus Builds by Zascoria is a really cool idea for a sort of educational game to learn about binary operations, and of course an excellent interpretation of just 2. Congratulations to everybody who made a game. Of course, it's no easy feat to finish a game in 10 days, so if you even submitted something, you did a great job. And thank you for participating. There were, of course, several other games in the jam, and I haven't mentioned all the ones that I personally enjoyed. If you like what you see, make sure you go check out the games. They're all linked in the description below. And if you are yourself a game developer or interested in getting into game development, then you're welcome to join us in our next jam. We have a new jam every 2 months. These are always 10-day jams occurring on the second Friday of every odd-numbered month. And you're welcome to join, whether you're a professional dev or just getting started trying to get your feet wet. And you can check our website linked in the description below to see what the next jam is coming up. I am Retro Indie Josh. We are 8 Bits to Infinity, and I will see you in the next one.